let's have a go. I've never done this before. G'day world, as you saw the other day, I've got myself a new mill, and unfortunately I've turned. I've become the atypical new hobby mill owner. I'm going to use this mill to make tools for the mill, to make more tools for the mill. So you could say I'm prepping for Toolageddon. Today I'm going to operate on this big lump of square shit, 50mm by 50mm. I'm going to put a couple of V's in that so that I can hold some round bar, because my next project is a fly cutter and I'll need to be able to hold it in the vise properly, and the job after that will be a slitting saw arbor and I'll need to be able to hold that in the vise properly. So before I can do that square bar, I'm going to use this aluminium, cut a couple of lengths off and dress the ends up so that I can rest that big square bar on the little square bar and make it parallel to the vise. Okay, we'll cut a couple of these bits off and then we'll go from there. There, I've just trimmed off those bits of 25mm aluminium. They're going to sit in there so that it gives me a flat surface to rest stuff on. Now they're looking pretty shitty at the moment, so what we do with aluminium here at Bendigo Hydroblasting is we hydroblast aluminium. So I'm going to clean those up before I face these ends off square. I've got myself a little collet chuck set up and a few end mills, so I'm going to use an end mill to square up these ends. But let's clean these first, eh? Well, that should be looking a bit cleaner. We'll just rinse that shit off and pull it out and have a look at it. There we go, folks. That's what we do with aluminium here at Bendigo Hydroblasting. They look a bit better for the experience, don't they? We'll chuck one of them in the vise and use this little end mill kit over here that I bought to square the ends up. Righto, we'll kick this thing in the guts and square up those ends. And those ends on the aluminium squared up perfectly with that end mill. We'll now pull that collet chuck out of there and we'll put the face mill back in there, and we'll do the rest of the machining with the face mill. I'm going to have to spin this thing around here to 45 degrees so that I can put a 45-degree V in that piece of steel. And stick around, folks. Anything's likely to happen here. As you can see here in this vise, it already has some V's cut into that back jaw. So we'll try and align those with a couple on the 2-inch block, as well as a couple more. But before we do anything else, we need to clean up these faces. I'm going to chuck the face mill in there. Unfortunately, I don't think it's wide enough to do that in one pass. That's where a fly cutter would come in handy. But anyway, it won't be pretty, but we'll have a crack. Well, I did say watch this space. That's moved in the vise and given me some pretty ordinary cuts there. So what I'm going to have to do is, I've done the vise up a bit more. We'll just take some lighter cuts and maybe do it in 3 or 4 passes. So and see if that works. Well, it took some getting there, but I finally got that surface there machined down nice and flat. There's no no marks or anything in that. That's a trap for young players. Don't get too greedy when you're using a face mill on big lumps of steel in a drill vise. Right, we'll turn her over and we'll give the other side a go now. Well, we've got rid of all that black crappy mill scale on the outside of that. It's not a perfect job, but it's certainly flat. It's not square, but doesn't need to be. What we'll do now is we'll pop it in the vise up this way, up like that somehow. We'll square it up and see if we can square up those ends a bit better. Well, now that we've got some right angle surfaces here, we should be able to rotate this this cutting head 45 degrees, and then we'll mount this in the vise, and we'll cut some V-grooves in it. Yeah, well, here we go. We've got fly-by-night engineering here. Now, the centre of that centre of that V there on that jaw is 25mm from the bottom, so I'm going to plunge this into there until the centre is 25mm to there. Let's have a go. I've never done this before. Well, there we go. That's done what I wanted to do. That's cut a nice little V in there. That distance from here to here is 25mm, so that coincides with that slot in the opposite jaw there. What I might do now is I'll spin this over to the other side, and I might put another V in it so that it butts up about the centre of this, so that if I put a piece of bar in there, I can make it a little bit higher. Just give me a couple more options. Once I've done that, we'll spin it over and I'll cut a V or two in this side going the opposite direction. Righto, let's have a go. Well, I didn't bore you with the same old machine and details on that one, but you can see there I've put another slot in here, so that coincides with about halfway up the jaw on that face over there. So just gives me a couple of options. We'll spin it round now, and we'll put one at right angles that lines up with that slot over there, or we can shift it to wherever we want, but I'll put it in the middle. So we'll turn it over and have a go now. Just picking up this bit of steel, probably a little bit of overkill using something that size, but well, you use what you use. Just clean that off a bit. Yeah, and I'm not looking for anything too accurate here with the depth or the position of this slot. As long as they're at right angles, we're okay. But we'll put that down. We'll pick somewhere in the middle. That looks roughly good enough there. So we'll lock that in. We'll do that up. We actually won't lock that in. We'll let that up. We'll hit that with a hammer. There we go. Now we'll put that back down there. Put it to about there. Lock it. Wind her across. And kick her in the guts, and we'll have a go. There we go, that's just where I wanted it. Well, I reckon that's going to do for now. We'll just pull that out of there and file the burrs off it. As I said, there's no real rocket appliance in this one. We just want to use it to make some tools, and in all fairness, we'll probably use that to make something else at some stage when I've got some more tools and I can machine up something a bit more accurate. But anyway, we'll pull it out and have a look. Well, there we go. You see there, we've got a couple of slots machined in that way, one across there. Oh, stay tuned, I'm sure we can make some exciting tooling in coming episodes. Anyhow, that's me new mill. That's what we can do. A good little bit of practice before I start on the real stuff. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Stay tuned and catch you next time.